Hello good people, and welcome to another episode of Vlogging a Dead Horse. This is the apocalypse edition. We're in the midst of the coronavirus outbreak thingamajiggy here in South Africa, and half the world here is shut down at the moment. So I thought I would just take a bit of a walk down at the beachfront. There's hardly any people here, just a lot of people driving around trying to get to where they need to get to. Other than that, things are a little crazy this side of the world. Probably in your side of the world as well, I could assume. So today we have a shootout between the G7x Mark III and the G7x Mark III. Yep, you heard me right. Both of these cameras are G7x Mark IIIs, but one of these cameras has the new upgraded firmware on it, and the other one has the original firmware, which had really lousy autofocus on it. And today's test is to see whether the new firmware has actually sorted this autofocus problem out. This is a fantastic camera. This is the one that everyone's been waiting for, with the external mic jack. This was, in my opinion, the only thing that was wrong with this camera before. This tiny camera with the ND filter and the f1.8 to 2.8. I mean, this thing, tiny as hell, light as hell, and it just had everything going for it except for external audio, which it now has. As soon as the Mark III came out though, everybody lost their minds. People that rushed out to pay for it, and pay they did, because this was not a cheap camera by any means. This is a super expensive camera actually. They rushed out to get it, only to find that the autofocus, which was damn good in the Mark II and even the Mark I, which I had before, was up to total shit. So a few months later, and the firmware has been updated, and allegedly it fixes the issues that the G7x Mark III had. Does it look like it's actually done that job? I'll zoom in a little. Does it pick up my face again? Zoom out again. Does it look like it's actually done that job? I'll zoom in a little. Does it pick up my face again? Zoom out again. So the camera is locked onto my face in both cameras. Now that I've tapped the screen, has that sorted out the issue on the first firmware version, or has it not? Let's see what happens if we focus away from our face and then come back to it again. In the background here we have the world famous Table Mountain. And then coming back to my face. Has it picked me up again? And has it managed to autofocus again? I come back in, zoom in. Does it detect me? Does it pick me up? And then back out again. Has it done the thing? And then coming back to my face. Has it picked me up again? And has it managed to autofocus again? I come back in, zoom in. Does it detect me? Does it pick me up? And then back out again. Has it done the thing? Another thing I wanted to test was the image stabilization on these cameras. I have it set at its highest because I'm in the little movie camera icon on this camera, and I have the ND filters turned on as well. Hopefully this is doing a good enough job of stabilizing. I also have these on shorty little handles, so these cameras are only at arm's length. I usually use them on a monopod, and that helps to stabilize them a bit more, and also gives me a bigger field of view. As the camera is a little further away from me, it can fit in a little more real estate. How's the sound on these cameras as well? At the moment, only one of them has a Saramonic XM1 microphone mounted to it. The other one is just the naked audio. Let's have a listen to see what that sounds like. There's a tiny little bit of a breeze in the air, nothing to write home about really, but it may still make a bit of a noise in this camera. It doesn't take much wind to really duff up your audio. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about the fix, the firmware update, as to whether it's actually done the job. Has this sorted out the problems with this camera, or does it still have a bit of a ways to go? Maybe another firmware update to improve it even more. I mean, I certainly could do it the best autofocus that I can get, so if there is going to be an improvement, a further improvement to it, that'll be fantastic. If not, this is what it is. Is it good enough? The only reason I have both of these cameras is because the previous owners hated the autofocus enough that they sold them off really cheap. These cameras are super expensive as they come out of the shops. The two owners of these sold these cameras to me at less than the price of a second-hand G7X Mark II, and the only reason they sold them that cheap was because of the autofocus. They didn't know that there was a firmware update, so I got the one camera, I updated the firmware. I hope that's done a job. I have subsequently picked up this other camera, and I thought I can use them side by side because I haven't updated that firmware yet. I'll do that later on today if it makes a big enough of a difference. You guys let me know in the comments below. Good to see you again. I've been off for a while. I've been away in Australia and New Zealand, but I'm back in town, and there should be another few videos coming up quite shortly. In the meantime, be safe out there. The zombie apocalypse continues unabated. Hopefully this virus gets sorted out and pisses off real quick, because I can't live like this, man. I just can't live like this, and I'm sure you guys can't either. Stay safe, be well, catch you soon.